Good evening, good evening, good evening. Listen, tonight we're doing a special edition of Shout because there's something that was called in to me, and I think that it is necessary for us to talk about it. First of all, I want to apologize to my co-host. He's at church tonight, Pastor Alfred Williams with the Church of Love. He's at church, so he couldn't be with us tonight, and I praise the Lord. I'm sure that service is going great. We even went as far as tonight to go and allow our service. It's happening in the room, but we felt that it's necessary for us to go live on this. Tonight we have some special guests with us all the way from Bluefield, West Virginia. First of all, I want to bring in Reverend Charles Collins. He's the president of the NAACP of Mercer County. If we could invite him to come on in. How are you doing tonight, Pastor Collins?
Doctor, I'm doing very well, very well. Thank
All right.
you for asking.
Praise God. Listen, and then we have the mother of this child. We want to invite Brianna Steptoe to come in. We're hoping we have her there. Is she there, Mike? Is she there? Okay, we might have to shake her a little bit. We was waiting there, so we're going to be talking tonight. It is her son that actually was called the name. So if we could just kind of shake her a little bit, we got another. It shows she's still there, Mike.
I'm here.
Okay, let's put you on screen then, can we? Look like you got yourself blacked out there somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. It went a few minutes ago. I don't know how to change it from that. I don't know what happened.
Now, if you need to, you can go out and come back in. I'm sure our folks will, because they want to hear from you tonight. We really want to hear from you tonight what's going on. So if you want to go out and come back in, why don't you do that right quick?
Okay.
All right, go back out. Brianna's going to go out and come back in so we can get her just a little bit of thing on her side. Pastor Collins, tell us a little bit about the NAACP of Mercer County while we're waiting on Brianna to come back in.
Well, the NAACP Mercer County branch right now, we're partnering with a couple of the churches and others. West Virginia Baptist State Convention, which I am also the president of it, doing vaccinations, all of them, Moderna, Pfizer, and also we're giving the booster shots. I've been doing that every other Saturday for the last several months. And one of our churches here, we support them. Jones Street Methodist Church there, we support them. And we try to stay vigilant in our community actions, programs and things that we attempt and try to do. So, like I say, we're a small unit, but just as any other
small unit, but handling big things. I hear you.
That's it.
Small unit handling big things. Listen, we have Brianna in here now. How are you doing tonight, Brianna?
I'm okay.
Good. We can hear you loud and clear. And who's that young man behind you there?
My son, Caprice.
Caprice. How are you doing tonight, Caprice?
Good.
Now, listen. We're going to start this conversation off because we want Caprice, if it's all right with his mother, to tell us, Caprice, what's going on. I got a call. To look at Facebook, and on the Facebook, you, Brianna, was on Facebook, and you put on the Facebook that something had happened, and what really got my attention when you put the word help. And I want anybody that's listening to this tonight, the way we're going to help her is we got to share this thing. Because she's going to tell you what happened to her today. She's going to say what happened to her today in some of the meetings she had. But let's hear what happened first. Come on, young man, tell us what happened.
Okay, so one day I was sitting in class and it was math class. Mom was a substitute for my original teacher, Mr. Veneri.
And what's her name? What's teacher's name?
Uh, Mr. Veneri.
No, the teacher.
Bromfield is the one who did it.
Okay, go ahead.
And we all were answering math problems. And I raised my hand, and she said, "Let the red monkey answer."
Let the what?
The red monkey answer.
Let the red. Did you have on color red or something?
He had on a red pullover.
So you had on a red pullover, and she said to you, "Let the red monkey answer." Is that what she? That's what she said.
Yes.
What do you think she meant when she said the red monkey?
As in calling me a monkey, like a racist term for African American.
Had she ever called anybody else in class a monkey?
I don't really know, but I heard that she has said some stuff to other African Americans.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel embarrassed, and it made me uncomfortable.
Did any of your other classmates respond or anything on this?
They all was just surprised.
Surprised?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Brianna. Today, what have you done so far? When your son came home, and you heard that someone had called him a red monkey. Now, first of all, what color is this teacher?
She's white.
She's white.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a white teacher. It would have really made a difference if he's white or black. No teacher should be calling anybody a monkey. Would you agree? It doesn't change the melanoma of the skin is not, it doesn't change anything. So what did you feel when your son came home and told you that somebody in class had called him a red monkey?
I was surprised and mad at the same time, if that makes sense, because I never thought that a teacher would be that bold to say something like that to a student, let alone my child, in front of the whole classroom.
Now, young man, who did you say? Did you say anything to anybody in the class, in the school?
Yeah, all my friends heard it.
But what I'm saying is, anybody in authority. Did you say anything to anybody in authority?
Oh yeah. Well, no, I really didn't. I didn't go to the principal's office right away.
So you went home to mom.
Yeah.
Okay, mom. So once, Brianna, once he came and he told you, what did you do?
Well, it was over the weekend, so I wasn't able to do anything until Monday. So first thing Monday morning, I called and I talked to the assistant principal in the office. I did ask for the main principal, Miss Miller, but she was busy. So I explained the
Well,
situation
what do you
to.
mean she was busy? Did you
Yeah.
tell him that a teacher had just called your son a red monkey?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what was so busy that she couldn't come and give that attention to that. But go ahead.
I explained the situation to the assistant principal, Miss Honaker, and she asked me, did I still want Miss Miller to give me a call? I told her yes, because I want to talk to her personally, and I also wanted to set up a meeting. Miss Miller never contacted me back. She never called me back to set up a meeting. So I called the Board of Education that same day, um, and I spoke with Mr. Browning at the board.
What is Mr. Browning's position there? You talking about Mercer County Board of Education? What is Mr. Browning's position there?
He's assistant of the superintendent.
Okay, what did he say?
He said that he would make sure, he got the situation taken care of. He took all the information, and he gave Miss Miller a call himself because I explained to him that she hadn't gave me a call back or anything. So he spoke with her, and he called me back, and he told me that he did indeed talk to her, that they have to do some investigating. So I said, okay, fine. He said he'd call me back in a couple days. By Wednesday, I did call him back. and I spoke with him. He said that there's still a process. So
It's
I
still
was
what now? It's still what now? Say that again.
he said it was still a process and it was still some questioning going on or whatever.
So let me ask you a question. When did you involve the wonderful NAACP in Mercer County? When did you go to them?
I called. When did I speak with? I spoke with NAACP first for the first time yesterday.
Well, we want to pull Reverend Collins in here right now. Reverend Collins, now, of course, you've gotten involved in this as a representative of the NAACP. Today, you all had a meeting today. Who was that meeting with?
You have to ask my sister there who the persons were.
Who was at that meeting today, Brianna? Who was there?
It was me and my son, Miss Miller, Mrs. Bromfield, and Amanda, and she is coordinator of people services from the Board of Education.
Okay, what is People Services?
I honestly don't
You
know
don't
because
know? So Reverend Collins sitting there as the representative of the NAACP, what did you feel about the conversation that happened in the room?
Well, first of all, let me say that I had informed Sister Schofield of the procedure that we go by as NAACP. I cannot just barge in a meeting or nothing like that. I informed her that before the meeting begins, you all, meaning Sister Schofield, introduce me as Reverend Collins, president of the NAACP, and that she would like for me to sit in on the meeting and that I would be allowed to speak in her behalf, ask questions. Well, the first thing they said that would not be allowed.
The first thing they said is what?
That it would not be allowed. No other person other than Sister Schofield, or excuse me, Schofield.
Was that part of school? Did they show that's part of school policy or Mercer County policy, or is this just something they came up with?
something they came up with because I spoke with
Yes.
the superintendent this evening. Well, this afternoon, I met with him also. He told me that they was not supposed to tell me that I could not bring someone in there. He said I am allowed to bring whoever I want into the meeting.
My goodness. Hey, listen, Mike, I want you to start pulling some of them comments over here so we can, we want some of those that are relevant to pull over here so these people can know that, so that Brianna can know that she's got people coming on here that's in support of finding out exactly what really happened.
And just let me
Just
say
keep
this.
pulling them on. Keep pulling them on. Go
let
ahead,
me-
Reverend Collins. Go ahead.
Let me just say this now. As the NAACP, as you know, this is a nationwide organization. And one of the things that we do not do, we do not try to tell a person what to do. We advise them.
Now, when you say tell a person what to do, are you talking about Brianna, or are you talking about the people that Brianna is speaking to?
Well, we can advise them on how to go about it, but the first thing that we do is find out what the situation is from the person, which in this case would be Sister Steptoe.
Okay, so I gotta ask you. I gotta ask a question here. So being in the room, what do you find the situation to be? Does it seem like this to you? Does it seem like this actually occurred from the information you're receiving, or is this something that this young man has fabricated?
No. I don't. Seriously, whenever someone comes to us, myself or the branch, we listen. The first thing we do is listen to their grievance, what it is that is going on. And when people tell us what's going on, then we advise them of certain steps to take. And I did this with Sister Steptoe.
So my question is, I understand that y'all have advised Sister
I did, yes.
Brianna, of what the process is. Now we're in the room. What we want to know, the listeners want to know, and the comments want to know is with the people that are in the room, including you,
All right.
can you validate that this actually occurred, that these people are in the wrong?
Well, yes, and I can validate it not only from what I heard, and I think it was the principal, but she also had the notes that she took in her interviews of the other children
Now,
that was
did
in
you
the
get a
class.
did you get a copy of those notes?
No, I didn't get a copy of the
Was
notes.
you privy to be able to read those notes?
If I had gotten a copy of those notes, let me, as I go back, they would not allow me in the meeting. However,
According to Brianna,
okay,
that's totally against the rules.
well, it's against the rules, but when they said that I was not allowed in the room, I spoke to Sister Steptoe and I asked her, "What do you want from this meeting? What do you want?" And she informed me.
And what was
Which,
that? What was that she wanted out of there?
well, she wants the teacher to be terminated.
Okay,
And the only, go ahead.
Brianna, why do you feel she should be terminated? Let us all know why you feel she'd be terminated.
because I feel like the way that she made my son feel, the embarrassment, the emotional state that he has been in and out of since it happened, and the fact that I feel like, what if he was not, what if he did not come to me and he was not able to emotionally deal with that himself? What if he would have harmed himself behind that? Or what if he would have went back to school and acted up? Or what if she does this to another kid and does not handle it the way that I'm trying to handle it? Or she does it to another kid and they do something to harm themselves or they react in a really bad way. I mean, it can turn out to be a really bad situation, and I
Well,
don't.
when we come back, Brianna, and we thank the president of the NAACP, president from Mercer County, for being with us tonight. We're discussing, hey, what happened in the classroom in Bluefield, Virginia, with this young man been called a red monkey. Listen, we'll be right back. Listen, we welcome you back. Um, Young man, let me ask you a question. Let me ask him a question here. Now that you've addressed, you got to talk to the principal, right? Okay, what did you say to the principal? What did you personally say to the principal? Did you talk to the principal today?
Yes.
What did you say to the principal? What did you say to her?
Okay, so I told her the same story I just told you, and we were just talking about the whole situation. And every time Miss Bromfield was meant, every time my mother tried to ask her a question, she would Miss Miller would answer for her instead of Miss Bromfield answering.
Okay, do you feel that the principal is giving you the attention you deserve?
What do you mean by that?
In other words, this happened to you. What do you want out of this?
I want that teacher fired
Why do you want her fired?
because it's just that was not a very nice thing to say. She did. I heard that she has said other racist things towards her to other students too.
Has anybody investigated these other allegations of this teacher? Is she saying things to all students or just black students?
There are other students too that has said that yes, she has said it, but some people say like a different scenario, but she still called me a monkey.
What he's saying is she saying other racial things to other students? Is it just black students or is it also like white students that she's saying stuff to?
Only black students.
Have we asked as leadership? I understand that the school is doing their investigations. Reverend Collins, let me ask you a question. Now that the NAACP is involved, will the NAACP begin to interview these other children to find out a course of action that needs to be done concerning this?
Well, as you know, the only way that we can interview children or any is with the parents' consent.
Yes. Are you all going to be contacting?
We are prepared to do that, but what I want to say here is that the length of time once Sister Steptoe called me. I sit outside in my car, and she called me and said that they wanted me to, if I would, to come back in. Well, when I came in, what has been discussed so far is what was said in my listening ear. I asked the young man to tell me what the situation was at the time.
Right.
He proceeded to tell me, of course, the situation at the time. Well, I then asked the teacher what the situation was.
And what did she say?
Well, I'm gonna give you that. In the meantime, the principal, the teacher, all of them agreed that the young man was no problem student. He was mindable, everything in class. I mean, in other words, almost what I was getting.
Well, now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say something that might make some people upset. I don't care if he's the worst person in this whole school. I don't care if he skipped every day of school. I don't care if all he did was come to school that day. That doesn't excuse the fact that they called him a red monkey.
No, it doesn't. And I'm not doing that. What I'm saying, they all are telling me that he's a model student, so forth and so on. And in doing so, is when he told me, just as he's told you tonight, and then I went to the teacher. Well, she went off and talking about a whole lot of things.
Can you tell me what things that she could?
Listen, I can't tell. I don't even know what she's talking about.
So she wasn't talking about the issue. She decided that the most important thing is for her to talk about something else other than what the problem is.
What the problem was.
So could it be safe to say that everybody's talking about everything but what the problem is?
And that's the thing.
Well, listen. Let me say this: all you people that are on this internet, we're going to give you the number to the school. And what we want you to do is we want every person to share this, and we want to bombard that school and let them know that we don't want this child being called a red monkey nor any other child, and that we expect a response to what it is that is happening. Because there's some things that, I appreciate the NAACP, praise the Lord for them, but they're held by regulations. Those of us that are on this internet and those of us that are just private citizens, we can take enough action to where they have to do something. We don't have to wait on anybody.
Let me just
Go ahead.
Here. As I said at the outset, the only thing we do is find out from an idea from Sister Steptoe. What did she want? She told me. I left it there. That's it. But before the meeting ended, and the principal, to me, she became belligerent to a point. So Steptoe said that she would have settled for an apology from the teacher. Now, the reason I say that,
pull over Tina Rose's comment over there.
The reason I say that is because her saying that suggests that from the time that she tried and she finally got in contact with the principal, assistant principal of board education, she never received an apology. That's racism. You might not be a racist, but you can say racist things. And that is totally racist.
So in other words, the teacher might have made a mistake, and it might have been a racist comment, but she's not racist herself.
No. I didn't say that.
I'm saying, but it's possible. It's possible. Yes, it's possible.
It's possible. But what I'm saying, after everything had gotten to the point that it got, and of course, the steptoe had what she said, and she said, I'm not going to sit here and listen to this. The rating of her and her son in so many words, and she
that is what when she talked to us yesterday, that's what we told her, that if they're going to waste their time, get up and move around, because if these folks are not going to reply correctly, then she needs the backup of every one of us that knows white, black, Hispanic, or Asian. You don't call children's names at school. You just don't do it. You don't do it. Now, we can remember when Howard Cosell went. This is not something that's new. You just don't call black people monkeys.
Right.
It's unacceptable. It's already to where that there are some people that's probably listening now that are bigots and racists that think that because we're black people that we are unhuman, that we're less than human, that we come from the animal portion of things. We ain't no animals. Don't call us animal names. That's unacceptable. Right. And this is to them. This is just something that is. It'll just blow over. I say no. I say no. I think that young man sitting in that corner, he's saying no. Now, the problem is with this teacher, not only are we getting this teacher to where she called him a red monkey, this child is saying that she's called other people racist names. So this is something that we actually got to pay close attention to. And all of us that are listening here, Brianna, let me ask you a question. How do you want to move forward on this?
Right.
I want her out of that school. I do not feel like she has the right to remain in that school, especially if there's an investigation going on and they find out that she did indeed say this. She's still in that school around these kids.
Go ahead.
Animosity towards black children because you may be a racist, I feel like you should at least be on suspension until everything is found out for sure.
Now, didn't they ask your son to not come to the class when she comes to the class?
Yes.
Can y'all explain to me? Let him explain. What did they say about that?
So she said that if she is a substitute for another teacher and I'm in that class, come to her. And then after that, she said, "Is that fair?" And I
do you feel that's fair?
No, it's not.
What do you think should happen first of all, what do you think should happen?
I want her out of that school. I want her fired.
So in other words, you don't think she should be substituting at all. I want them to hear that coming from you over and over again. That's the reason why I keep you saying what you want. Because in this day, there's too many things that we take light that our children are going through that we need to be on hand about. And this is one of them. This is unacceptable. It's just totally unacceptable. And we need to make sure that we are responding. Everybody that is on this internet, I need you to hit share. I need you to put in the comments. I'm getting ready to give the school name. She's getting ready to give it to you. And then if that young man so chooses, he's going to give us the phone number to his school, because we're only going to do what he wants us to do. So I'm going to ask his mother, is it all right if I ask him this question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what is the name of your school?
Bluefield Middle School.
Bluefield Middle School. And do you have a phone number to that school?
I don't necessarily know it, but I can search it up.
Because all we want to do is, guys, listen, when we call the school, we want to be professional. We love our educators. Everybody, just because this one lady is doing something, it doesn't make everything bad. Amen. All the schools are not bad. All the teachers are not bad. But the reason why we're calling is we're not trying to force them to fire her. We're trying to get them to investigate it properly. Okay, can we agree? Because what we want is the truth. You know, we want the truth, and we don't want the truth not shared. So we want to. Now there's some folks that right now are sharing the number now. So we're going to go ahead and give that number. Go ahead and slide that number up there on that screen. We want to share the text because there's several people that are on here putting it out here. Listen, we're not against any children at all. And we're not against any teachers at all. This is not a black thing. This is a teacher called a student name she shouldn't have called. And all the educators that are out there, you need to be careful what you do with our kids.
Right.
Because this young man, tell me what you shared with me the other day concerning how he's feeling. What he's told you about how he's feeling, Brianna.
Well, he told me that he feels awkward now when he goes to school. He said he feels out of place. He feels like someone might feel a certain type of way towards him now because of everything that's going on. He feels like the teachers and the principal is going to be against him. Like he told me he doesn't even enjoy the fact of like waking up and going to school now.
Wow.
It's changed his perspective as far as waking up and going to school. Like now he wakes up and he's worried about what might be said or how he's going to be looked at instead of just getting up and not worrying about anything and just going on to school.
So, Reverend Collins, let me ask you a question right quick. As far as the NAACP, what is y'all's next move on this?
Well, as I said to Sister Steptoe, I'll stay with her every step that I'm able to stay with her on this issue, on this matter. But in the totality of it, it's her call, and I'll stay with her, whatever decision she makes. I don't know. I think I heard her say that she did meet with the superintendent of school today. I don't know what was said at that meeting, of course. But
So she met with the superintendent of schools by herself?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go into that in a minute. Go ahead, Reverend Collins.
But my question that I really wanted to ask before she had left out of the meeting is when I said that she had mentioned that when all this went down, had she got an apology, that might have settled the issue. But my question was when they asked her in the meeting, but like I said, I didn't want to ask this question once she had left out. But when they were in the meeting and she told them her desire, what she would like to see the teacher the punishment. My question would have been: was there any other alternative that those persons, the principal and the other lady that was in the room with her, did they offer her any other alternative measure, suspension, what have you? Just as you said just now that when the young man's teacher is not there, and he has the same substitute teacher, whether anything offered that they could do for him or whatever. And that's still my question: did they offer her any other alternative?
Brianna, did they offer you any other alternatives?
Only thing that they even spoke of was if she was to substitute, having him separated. And
So in other words, let's punish the kid. Let's change the kid's life.
Right. Why can't he sit in the classroom and continue to learn like the other students, but instead he's got to come down and sit in the office the entire time until you're done teaching the class?
Now let me say something to the listeners and to everyone concerned. The calls we received here at Shout, the people were telling us that they feel like nothing's going to happen. I called the school today. I asked to speak to the principal, gave her the opportunity that if she can't be on here to sit and let's just discuss it. She declined. I left her number to try to get the teacher on. They declined. I went and I left called the Board of Education today to see if one of them would like to be on here. They declined. And I think that what it is that they feel that this is just going to go away because some of the folks that called in said is that these things happen and they just go away, that there's really no pressing to actually get anyone to do something. So we're telling all of our listeners that are here today, I am encouraging you. Call the school. You want to share this. I want you to burn up the internet with this. And here's the bottom line. I'm believing the child. I don't think he has any reason. Do you dislike this teacher?
I didn't have any problems with her, actually. I actually liked her.
So this isn't the first time you had class with her?
No, I had in-school, she's an in-school teacher. And there was this one time while
Okay, what is in school? Is that a disciplinary situation?
Yeah.
So, but you wasn't in a disciplinary class, right?
No.
You was in a regular class.
It's an in-school suspension, so if they get in trouble, that's where they send them for the day.
And she's the person that is over.
Person that's over that, and this was the very first time he had ever gotten in trouble in school, and this was the only time he'd ever gotten in trouble in school. He got into a little scuffle with another student and had to go sit in there for a day.
Now I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tell you that now you shouldn't be getting in no scuffles, but I'm gonna sit here and tell you it don't matter if you got in 12 fights. Nobody has a right to call you a red monkey.
Right.
I hope everybody's agreeing with what this young man is saying. This young man is saying this. And again, I'm going to go back to what this mother put on the internet. She put a 4-letter word that caused action in my life. Help. She said help. So all of us that are on this internet right now, we need to help this mother. We need to help this mother. So let me ask you this question. Now, the overall school itself, do you feel like it's a balanced school, or do you feel like it's a school that it's hard for black children? Now, I want everybody to understand, I'm asking her opinion. We don't have any kind of data. We haven't done any kind of research. But however, once we conclude these calls tomorrow, we're going to ask for in-school suspension records. We're going to ask for anything we can get our hands on because we want to know. We want to know how they're treating children at Bluefield Middle School. So let me ask him. How do you feel? You think it's an all right school?
It's a pretty all right school, but there is a lot of people in that school who are kind of rude and mean.
What do you mean, people that are rude and mean? Explain what rude and mean is.
Like, that are kind of like a little like strict and like just kind of rude.
Explain to me what rude is.
Rude.
Give a scenario, honey.
Okay, so like, if somebody walks, like you're holding a book and somebody walks up to you and just takes it for no reason and runs off with it.
So you're talking about the kids.
No, I'm not talking about the kids. Well, yeah, there are some kids that are bad.
But you're talking about the teachers?
Yeah, teachers.
Gotta give us a scenario on what the teacher.
Wow.
Like a teacher will walk up to you and take your book for no reason.
Listen, okay, so there's this one teacher. I'm not gonna say the name.
Don't say names. That's okay.
Yeah.
Use your. Go ahead.
You, if you have like a drink, or no. If you're doing a test, right, and he catches you cheating, he'll walk up to you, rip your paper, and give it to you, and go tell you to throw it away.
If he catch you cheating, well, I would probably rip your paper up and tell you. On that one right there, you lost me there, partner. Because I would be all over you. I'd be all over you. Listen, Brianna, let me ask you a question here. You're still going to let your child go to school there?
Yeah, for right now, it's because I don't have a choice.
And of course, you're going to monitor to make sure that there's no retaliation because of him standing up for this. And I'm sure that the NAACP is going to make sure of that too. Would you say that, Reverend Collins?
Sure, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. We'll do all this within our power and right and reason to help in any way to alleviate the situation or to settle the score, as they say. And the thing about it, one of the things about now, my youngest daughter graduated from Bluefield High School. And there's a lot of things that go on that I hear about. But I cannot, as a NAACP, I cannot, and this I would love for the listeners to hear this. I cannot act upon what I hear.
Right.
But I can move if you bring it to me, and I feel that I need, or the NAACP needs to be involved. There have been times that things have gone on at that school. I've gotten it, as one would say, through the grapevine. I've even at times gone past, reach out to folk to bring this grievance to the correct people and source. But if they choose not to do anything about it, then it's nothing that I nor the NAACP can do. And we have attended meetings of the board, trying to stay abreast of what's going on within the school system here in Mercer County. But as I said, that if something is going on with a parent and the student, and they disagree with it, then they have to contact me.
Listen, I'm going to say this: the biggest thing anybody can do outside of what we're doing tonight is to vote them clowns out.
That's what it is.
Vote them out. Listen, start some voter registrations and start activating the community to where that they know that there's a voice and that you can't abuse any race of people.
True that.
Any race of people, because what I'm getting from everybody that I'm reading up here, and everyone, and this child and this mother, is that it just happens and there's a bunch of meetings, but there ain't no action. And Brianna and her son is saying, we don't want any more meetings. We want some action. We want somebody that's going to stand up and say, what we going to do about this? Brianna, is that what you're after?
Yeah, I definitely want some action. I feel like something definitely needs done. It's just not right that she's still there. My thing is, I feel like if it was the other way around, if it was a black teacher calling a white student a name, that teacher, I'm pretty sure would have been.
Why do you feel that way?
If it was some investigating, I feel like that investigation might have lasted a day, but that teacher would have definitely been gone already.
Has there been any teacher that you know of that has gotten in a position of discipline that is a black teacher there?
No,
Okay.
not that I do not know.
Because I'm with Reverend Collins on the, we got to make sure that we're not punishing the whole school, and we got to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And right now, I'm going to say this is me. This is nobody else. This is just me. It's not Sunrise Church. I know I'm the pastor of Sunrise Church. It's just me. I'm speaking from the Shout program right now. We need to do something, even if it comes to the point where to cause an action to where you get some signs and you stand on the sidewalks of the school. Even if it comes to the point where you bombard the school with calls. Because if this truly happened, this is outrageous. It's outrageous. And I want all of you listeners, what if it was your child and someone called them a racist slur? There's no way around it. Do you think that, I thought about all kinds of different things today. I thought to myself, I looked up the definition of monkey. How could it, could have she been calling you someone that's joyful and kind? Because a monkey, actually, you're joyful like a monkey. Could that be it? Or do you think this was actual because you are a black child and she saw you were black and she called you a red monkey? Do you feel that way, young man?
Yeah.
And what causes you to think that?
Because in the first place, you shouldn't call anybody a monkey, even if they're white or black. And it's just that you don't call nobody no monkey. And I had a red hoodie on, which made her call me a red monkey. I wasn't doing anything to her.
Oh, wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Because, because when she called him a red monkey, she's looking at his clothing, and I believe she's looking at his skin, and she's saying red monkey. I don't. No way, man. I agree. April Stores. No way, because you're doing better than me, Brianna. Because if it was me and I was in Bluefield, West Virginia right now, I'd have every friend I got standing in front of that school with signs. I'd have every friend I got calling, because again, some people are limited on what they can do. Your friends, your family, your community is not. And what has to be activated is the community. The community to make a statement that it will not be stood for anyone, and I'm going to say it, black to be called a monkey in Mercer County.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you have to say before? First, let me go to Reverend Collins and let him have a closing statement. Reverend Collins, what do you have to say?
Well, like I said, that's a racist statement, and no one should be subject to those kind of comments or characterization. And at the same
go ahead
time,
and put Pruitt up there. Put that up there.
And at the same time, others can come and protest or march or whatever. But what I'm saying is, this is one incident. This is not all of the incidents. And people have to, us especially, have to come together, because there are other things that's going on. And it takes us to be a part of the board of education when they have their meetings and things,
Yes.
and bring these things to their attention. At the same time,
Do you know when the next Board of Education meeting is?
I know that they were meeting, if I'm not mistaken, it was either the second.
Yeah.
I can find
The second?
The second and the fourth Monday.
Right, of each month.
The second and the fourth Monday of each month.
Right.
Somebody said
And
the third Tuesday.
And that's when the parents need to follow the protocol of these incidents, and then take it up with the board, and the board, however, if they can satisfy the parents in these incidents. But my thing always, just like with myself, we never jump to conclusion. We do investigate, we do sit, we listen, and whatever we can do. And I will not go into the legal regress of what we say to people that come to us, and we try to steer them in the right direction, the things that they can do and what have you. But it's up to them to follow through.
Mm-hmm.
And once they determine themselves to follow through, I'll walk with them every step of the way. Now, I will not walk with them until they get satisfaction, because sometimes folks seek satisfaction and that never comes. If you understand what I'm saying? Because
well, let me ask you this question, because you said something. Right. Will you walk with them until they get right? Because satisfaction and right is two different things.
Well, that's what
because I can be wrong and try to reach the wrong satisfaction. I can be right and want the wrong satisfaction. And I think that this lady here, and I believe her son, they don't want satisfaction. They want what's right.
Well, what is right?
Well, I believe what is right, and I'll say it. What is right is unless policy, procedure, and allowance allows people to call our children monkeys, then what's right? Fire the teacher. Unless we're saying that it's okay to call children monkeys.
Right.
If they talk to enough students in that class, now it has to be substantiated, I agree. But if they get enough children in that class that says that this teacher called him a red monkey, I don't care if she thought she was reading a nursery rhyme out of a book, she shouldn't have said it.
Right.
And I agree with you, Brother Preacher. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It should never have been said. I do not know what the disciplinary action of an educator is in the schools, but I have known that they have done things, teachers have done things, and the teacher was terminated, the teacher was reprimanded, suspended. That a lot of different things have happened to that teacher, rather other than suspension.
Well, here's my question. Here's my question. Do you feel that calling a child a red monkey is worthy of termination or suspension?
You're asking me, do I
Yes, sir. I'm asking you.
Should be
do you think it's worthy if this lady actually called this child a red monkey? Is that worthy of suspension or termination?
All right, I'm going to answer your question. Remember I said at the outset, when I walked in, I know what was going on. After Sister Steptoe had left the meeting, I did not have the opportunity to ask the questions that I felt that I needed to ask. And then after hearing those answers, if I've gotten any, then that's when the NAACP will take up its investigation. I am not here to judge. I'm not here to take side, straight up. But my thing as the president of the NAACP is that whenever an allegation is brought, just as I did today, with the parents' consent, is to meet with them and whoever they want to meet with, and in their presence, I am able to speak on their behalf, and that speaking means to ask questions that I did not choose to ask when once that Sister Steptoe had left the room. I still got some questions that I would love to ask.
That's good, because that was going to be my next question.
Yes.
Is now that you know that they did not have the right to stop you from speaking in that meeting, is the NAACP going back there?
Yes, I'll go back to determine, get more knowledge, more facts of the incident, as long as Sister Steptoe wants to fight this issue, so to speak. I'll help her in every way that I can help her. Now you listen to what I'm saying. It's not my fight to fight. It's our fight to fight. And I'll walk with her every step of the way to help fight this fight. And at the same time, to not, like I said, not to tell her what to do, how to do, or none of that, because the call is up to her. And whatever she is seeking, whatever, if I may use this terminology, whatever satisfaction, and listen, to the word that she's seeking, is there any other thing? And that's why I'm sorry that they would not let me stay, because I wanted to know what other, and she told me tonight, what other ramifications they offered to do.
Well, I'm going to, first of all, we applaud the NAACP for being involved in this. We thank Reverend Collins for the service that he's given to the community. And we also thank him for answering the questions that we put out to him today. So we can try to get a feel of where the NAACP is standing here. Brianna, there's a lot of people on here that are saying that they are behind you, is what they're saying, you and your son. There's a lot of people that believe that this is an outrageous moment. What do you want to say to them? I'm allow the mother to go first. What do you want to say to them in closing?
I really want to. I genuinely want to thank everybody that has supported me and my son through this. Like, we are very thankful. I'm very, very thankful for everybody that has showed so much support, because I honestly didn't think that I would have this many people behind me and supporting me. I didn't think I'd have so many people reaching out to me to help give me information or wanting me to speak like you, or just in general. I honestly really did not think that I would have so many people behind me and supporting us, and I am really thankful for that. So I know I've said it many times on Facebook already, but I genuinely, from my heart, I thank everybody that has been supporting us through all this.
Young man, what do you want to tell them? What do you want to say?
Really am thanking y'all for supporting me and my mom through all this, and just generally, to the bottom of my heart, thank you, because if nobody has reached out to us, we probably wouldn't have been able to do this or try and get her fired or anything.
Well, I'm going to say this to you, young man. First of all, you're not a red monkey. Never will be one. You was created by the Creator, and you're wonderfully made. Listen to what I'm telling you. Man, you're wise, you're intelligent, and you're heading to great things. And anybody that's going to tell you anything different, you just ignore them, because they got a problem. Ignore and pray. That's the solution. Ignore and pray. But let me tell you something that you remember in life. If somebody does something racist, you don't walk away. You do something about it. But you make sure you do it under the law, and you make sure that you do it with skill, and you make sure you do it to where nobody can despise your youth. And right now, you don't know it, but you're representing a lot of kids right now. And that's not a pressure move on you. I'm just saying that right now, you speaking out, I guarantee you, there's other kids right now that are saying, thank God that you're doing what you're doing. Listen, this is Dr. Ed Buford, Senior Pastor, Sunrise Community Church here in Houston, Texas. We thank you for listening. I'm going to tell you some things that we really need you to do. First thing we need you to do is share this to everybody. Second thing we need you to do, look down through the comments, get the number to the school, and don't tie up their switchboard with a long conversation. Just tell them this: I'm in support. What is the teacher's name?
Miss Bromfield.
Bromfield. I'm in support of firing Miss Bromfield. That's all I want you to call and say. I'm in support for firing Miss Bromfield. The next thing you can do, if you're in Mercer County, you need to make sure you register to vote. You got to vote. You got to vote, and you got to get involved with your community. Listen, that's what we got to do, and we're going to bring this back. We're going to give it about a week or so, and if you don't mind, Brianna, would you come back and give us an update on what's going on?
Yes, definitely.
Well, we'll do it. Again, we thank Reverend Collins, president of the NAACP in Mercer County. We thank Brianna, and young man, God bless you, and you go do great things. Listen, you've been listening to Shout. My co-host is not here tonight again, Alfred Williams. He was at church tonight, pastor of Church of Love. I want to shout out and say, hey, man, I missed you, man. Listen, God bless you. See you next